Alright, yeah, I started. It should pop up.
Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the scribes of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribes of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, smoke, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Curses and crowns, all the vows that they break. We're raiding the ruin, every risk that they take. Laugh through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Scribes of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribes of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, slowed, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Open the book, pour the tea, pour the wine. Scribe wives of HRI. It's gonna be a wild time. Hey! Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the scribes of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's more daybreak. We're reading the ruin, every risk that they take. Laugh through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Drivers of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blazing beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribe lives of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, smell, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Open the book, pour the tea, pour the wine. Scribe wives of HRI. It's gonna be a wild time. Hey!
You want to start a few minutes early? Okay. Let's go.
You're on an ad, though, for 47 more seconds.
Crap. Well, we can do introductions because they've seen our gorgeous faces before.
That is true.
Alright. Welcome back to After Dark. Grab your favorite drink, your coziest blanket, and settle in because today we're diving into Direbound. I'm Cat Minnie. I'm the warlock, book dragon, book gremlin, purple lover. That's what I am.
I am Lunar Coil, aka dragon lover, emotional distress person, whatever else we want to throw at me. But yeah, so we're talking about Direbound. This book has everything we love: deadly trials, giant wolves, political intrigue, found family, and a romance that had me screaming into the void because the slow burn is slow.
Very, very slow. And let's be honest, we'll also here discuss questionable men and whether we'd survive any part of this story. No, I don't think I don't think I'd survive even climbing up the mountain, let alone.
I was gonna say that's where I would die too. Sorry, not making it up the mountain, guys.
I don't even know if I'd make it past the camp to get started up the mountain. I'd be like, oh, direwolves? Love to. Not a lot of faith in myself.
Just run up to try to pet them all, and then they would all eat me.
Yes, because they are temperamental. Very, or at least Anessa is. I don't know about the rest of them, but she's temperamental. Alright, so today's episode will be split into spoiler-free and spoiler-filled sections. We're giving you a warning before we enter dangerous territory. So let's dive in. So first impressions of the book. We have not done a wolf style book of like direwolves or wolves in general. Most of the time it's vampires, lots of shadow daddies. No,
there was a shadow daddy. Thank you very much. That's what Stark is.
True. He is a shadow
He's our
daddy.
shadow daddy.
But we haven't done wolves before. And it was a
wolves.
good change up of how wolves react with the people and how bloodthirsty they can be with the blade that you can see on the lovely book right here. And this is the book cover. It's okay. But here's what I'm gonna do, because this beautiful imagery that Lunar put together for us was just way too... It's so much better. It still has the book title, but there's Anessa and Marin.
Marin.
See?
Listen, we're gonna butcher their names all night. It's fine. It's fine.
Except for Nessa and Stark, and I guess Killian, because it's Killian.
Right.
But like this is gorgeous. Like it has that fantasy vibe we love. I mean, Anessa is gorgeous. She's silver, and um, we don't really care about Marin, whatever. I'm saying Marin. I know it's wrong, but that's how I'm gonna say it. That's how I said it through the whole book. And we're just gonna get right into it. So, what hooked you from the beginning?
I feel like I was on the phone. I am so sorry. I did hear what you said though. You know, um, just for future reference, my daughter's switching houses with her friend tonight, so she's getting ready to leave. No, I really liked it. I think the thing that stood out for me the most was whenever it starts off and you have Marin in the fighting ring. Usually with books, whenever it starts off and there's a fighting ring of anything. Mwah, love you, baby girl. Oh, okay. Usually when there's a fighting ring of anything, it's typically you're gonna see the MMC, and that's not how it is. Um, Marin goes in and she is automatically in this ring fighting people, talking about how she's going to beat them. And she does do the whole feminine, I'm going to act like I'm weak, but I'm not weak. I'm not a weak female. And I think that that's what stuck out for me throughout the entire book, was that she does not let herself be weak at all. So
Agreed.
she's not struggling through anything that you can see with your own eyes, but you read her struggles with what she hides underneath from everyone else. So I do really like that. I think that that's honestly what hooked me, and the fact that it was about direwolves. I can't I can't think of another book that I've read where they have had like mounts in a sense. I mean dragons, yes, but like wolves.
That's not a
Not
dragon. Like a
yeah,
a rideable animal. That's not a dragon.
right. By the stairs, honey.
I agree. Like the whole opening up with her in the fighting rink was so unique and different that I was just like, you go, girl, you get it. You win that silver, gold, the money. And then the fact that she was like, they always fall for this all the time. And then she just like becomes this meek victim. And then she just whoops their ass. It was
Hmm.
great. And I was rooting for her from like chapter 1 of just her being in the fighting rink, and it kind of made me realize, okay, I kind of got the gist of, okay, she's fighting because she has to survive, which makes me think, okay, she's probably poor, she probably has a family, and she just needs to make money to survive, because most of the time you don't see a woman's not going to be in the fighting rink in like a fantasy style book unless it's for that reason. It's like the what they need to do to survive.
Yep, I agree.
So that was unique, and then um just her with, you know, doing that was just something that hooked me. And then throughout the book she does that. She shows her strength, and I mean, she's not a big person either. She's probably smaller than everyone else, because if you're like in the dire bonded area of the city, you're well fed, you're well nourished and everything like that. So they're like taller than her, bigger than her. Even the female, like Isabella and, oh, what's her sister's name? But the twins,
Vina.
Vina, they're taller than her. They're bigger than her. So for her to be so strong throughout this book is something that I was so happy to follow.
Yeah, so did you have any expectations going into it? Because I know I didn't.
I did not. I like reading the blurb of it didn't prepare me for how the book was actually going to be. Yes, we knew she was going to be in the bonded trials, because that's what the book said. Obviously, to win a dire wolf, or the whole plot would have fallen apart. To protect her sister, but I didn't expect the communication of direwolves. I didn't expect the push and pull of Anessa and her relationship in the beginning, which we figure out later on is because Anessa can't trust her, needs to trust her. Like, this relationship is all about trust. And I didn't have the expectations. Like, the twists and plots that this book had was not on my list of what to expect.
Yep. I had zero expectations going in. I just knew that it was a popular book talk choice and people were raving about it. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll give it a try. I had no idea what the bonding trials were even going to be. Like, I just started on page 1.
Right, right. Like, I didn't know if it was going to be, you know, just okay, well, you need to show communication, or what the trials actually entailed. It could have been something as simple as teach your dog to sit. Okay, cool, you passed. Can't say that I don't think Anessa would have been the type to be like, I'm not sitting, you sit. Like, the way I read her was like a teenager almost. Like, she comes from royalty. She's like an older direwolf, but her attitude sometimes made me think of a teenager in terms of how pushback she would give.
Yeah, in my head, she was a spiteful parent. That's how I
I
read
see
her,
that too.
as a spiteful parent.
No, please.
Yeah,
No,
she
I'm
had
doing
this like
something.
majestic voice in my head,
I'm playing a game
like
too.
older.
Can I play my game in here? Please? Quietly. My oldest is wanting to be in here with me, so I'm sorry, guys, for this. Sit, be quiet. I did like once I got through that. Anessa finally trusting Marin. I was like, Marin, whatever. Um, she did take on like that spiteful parent role of, well, if you had only listened to me, we could have overcome this like a month ago. But the teenage part of the whole making after the bonded trials, or after they bonded, making Marin like run down the cliff, I was laughing about that. Like, that spitefulness to me was so funny, of having Marin just like need to get to the castle or academy or whatever they had to go to at the bottom of the cliff, and she's like, I have to leave my pack, I have to leave my supplies, and I just have to run. And she made it there in the nick of time. But the sweetest thing was Anessa was following behind her the whole time to make sure she was safe. Like, if she hadn't made it, or Anessa didn't think she was going to make it, I feel like Anessa would have stepped in.
Yeah, well, she would have had to.
Yeah.
You know, the whole you die, I die thing.
Well, I don't think they died right then and there, though, would they have? Because they hadn't completed the bonded stage or been bonded enough. I think Anessa would have been able to walk away fine.
I don't know. I didn't think that far into it.
Neither did I. What did you think of the pacing and the structure of the book?
I thought it was great. It had a good political stance. It had all of the different packs and pack rules. Mainly like a lot of academia books do. The packs, they all stay in the same area together. They room together. They're in relationships together. So I wasn't too like upset about that at all. I liked the world building, but it wasn't a lot of world building to where it was over the top.
Agreed.
They really kept it to where you could imagine the scene that you were in and the world that you were in without having to need all those minuscule details. So I think that was good. I will say I think that some parts were drug out a little bit as filler, like when when the packs get into their areas and she's talking about all of the partying and stuff like that, and when they're oh my gosh, brain fart. The thought was right there. A lot of the climbing up the mountain and stuff like that, I think that it was a little bit drawn out. Like,
Oh, I agree. Like the whole how long it took the three girls, Vanna, Isabella, and Marin, to go up the mountain, it did drag on a little bit. Like I was just, it felt like a month had gone past instead of a couple of like hours or a day or whatever this time span was.
and it wasn't, it was just a day. It was one day. I do believe like 24 hours all total because they were
Yeah.
on a time crunch to get up the mountain, but it seemed like it drug on forever.
And it seemed like they had too many complications. And I like the whole, okay, two of them almost fell off the cliff when they were ice picking during the ice portion. And then they encountered like that first party and then the second party that they had to defeat, and it seemed to drag on. I was just like, can you just get to the top? We already know you guys, at least the FMC bonds, like just get to the top so we can see more action. More, I just wanted to deep dive to see the Direwolves, get the description of the Direwolves. I was just like, main characters, whatever, just get me to the wolves.
You eventually get there 3 years later.
I didn't want 3 years later. I wanted the description of the wolves right then and there.
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand why they wrote it the way that they did, but it was a very long time. I mean, Farah defeated that worm in the pit much quicker
She did.
than these girls climbed that mountain to
She
meet their
did.
direwolves. So I don't know.
Sure.
Well, did you have a favorite spoiler-free moment?
I feel like they all would be spoilers. So not really, because like I guess the spoiler free moment would probably be when she finally actually gives into the bond with Anessa, and Anessa's just like, well, thank God, like it took you long enough. That was something I was kind of waiting for and was happy it finally happened as a spoiler free moment. But I didn't say I'd have a favorite. Did you have a favorite spoiler free moment?
I don't believe so. I want to say that I really liked when nope, because that spoils it.
See? Yeah. That's a hard question. Like I should just delete that one. That one's not fair. It's not fair.
I mean, no, because I'm gonna spoil something if I say. I mean,
Right.
spoiler-free moment. My favorite spoiler-free moment was whenever they crested that mountain after that hike and saw all the direwolves standing there.
Yes. Yes. I guess the alright, we'll do one spoiler free moment is when she kicks Jonah's ass the first time on the mount, like before they get up the mountain.
Yeah, and then that starts the whole rivalry situation.
Yes, that is a spoiler free moment because you know there's got to be a rivalry somewhere in these types of books. But when he was going to kill Isabella before they even got out of that camp, and she just kicked him with her steel toe boot, I was like, yes, girl, get it.
Yeah, spoiler free moment maybe is letting all of the readers know or potential readers know that climbing the mountain is like walking across the parapet in Fourth Wing. You either make it to the top or you don't because you die or somebody pushes you off. Just like with the mountain, you either make like the parapet, you either make it across or you slip and fall or the wind pushes you off or somebody else decides to shove you off.
Exactly. So
it's kind of like what it is.
Going off that, if you loved Fourth Wing, Direbound, just take the dragons and put in the Direwolves. Everything it's more unique. It's not completely like Fourth Wing because we're dealing with in this book the Direwolves and Marin have to fight siphons, aka vampires, instead
Right.
of venom.
Which, aka siphon magic from the earth.
Yeah,
Just different. But
just
no, it was
different.
good. It was good.
Yes, and I haven't read book 2, but we're not talking about that yet, because we need to keep going with book 1. And so, what made this book stand out in the romantasy genre?
I'm sorry, I have a cat that's just kind of like staring at me right here. He's got a hold of my arm and I'm terrified for my life. He just put his claws out. Um, what made this book stand out in the romantasy genre? I mean, Direwolves.
Yeah,
Um,
I,
uh, it romantasy. It had an FMC. I mean, I will say it was what stood out was it was the love triangle was different, and because there was a love triangle, it was weird and it was very slow burn with the MMC. So
which
yeah, that probably makes it stand out because I wasn't worried about them getting together because there was so much other stuff that was happening in the book.
right, we weren't like I wasn't relying on a romantic style in the book. Like when I was starting to read the book, the spoiler alert is the MMC isn't who we think he is. Um, because for a while I thought it was like Lee, because we meet Lee in the very beginning. He is her love interest.
I mean, technically, it's Lee,
True,
just
true,
not Lee.
yeah. But I thought it was Lee the whole time until
Yeah,
we get to
I
the spoiler part when we talk about him in the next section. What was your overall thoughts on the journey?
I really liked it. I liked the journey from A to B. So obviously we'll talk more about Marin and her story or whatever whenever we get to that part. But the journey from the beginning, there's a clear journey. She wants to get to the war front. She doesn't get to the war front, so that kind of there's a wrench in things, but then you find out there's a reason why, and it was a good pace. Um, there was a lot that happens, so I wasn't mad at it. I really enjoyed the journey from beginning to end. I could have went without that cliffhanger at the end because then I had to wait a few days before I got book 2. But spoiler alert, book 2 ends on a cliffhanger too. You have to wait until July for the third one. So
And we're
eh,
talking not next month, July. We're talking
no,
about
like
July of
next
next
year.
year.
Yeah, so
Yes, yes.
yeah.
And this is why I am not quite wanting to read book 2 when you told me, oh yeah, book 2 ends on a cliffhanger, and I was like,
Yeah, it's fine.
fudge.
It's fine. What do you think about the journey though?
I liked it. So I've always liked like the Direwolves wolves. That was my favorite part of Game of Thrones when I first got introduced to Direwolves. Growing up, I've always like I love penguins as my sweet animal and wolves as my ferocious animal. Quite a duo there, but I've always loved wolves. So I'm surprised it's the first time I've actually like picked up a wolf style book. But I agree, the journey was like paced enough that I wasn't like rolling my eyes or like, all right, we need to move on. But like it seemed like when it was starting to drag out, boom, a battle would happen or a trial would happen or a secret was unveiled. So it kept me on that journey of the push and pull of okay, you need to drag it out a little bit to okay, something exciting happens. So I really like the journey. I'm excited to get book 2, but I have to wait a couple of more weeks because I'm in saving mode.
It's fine. Take your time reading it, so that way you can be closer to next year.
Yeah, yeah,
It's fine.
exactly. Maybe
fine.
I'll start reading it in June of next year and read the rest of my TBR.
There you go. Hey, you have a lot of ACOTAR books that you have to read, so
I do.
I think you'll be
And
fine.
yeah, I'm doing that with the physical copy, and then on my Kindle app I'm doing Haunted Adeline Duo. So, duet.
Hmm.
Knocking those two out in one swoop, I guess.
And they're very different from each other. I love that for you.
Yeah, it's great.
So, okay, so character deep dive. What'd you think of Marin?
So I liked her as an FMC. Like, she was different than other FMCs because she isn't considered weak. Like, you open up, the author opens up the authors, because we found out there's two authors with one pen name, right? Yep.
Yep.
So it's two authors, one pen name. Um, I like that they opened her up into a fighting scene. Like, she wasn't weak like other FMCs are portrayed. She starts out strong. She's like, I'm whooping your ass. And she's like, I'm gonna win this fight. And she keeps growing at like throughout the book like that. She never has I mean, she has the weak moments with Lee, um, because she can be like that with him because he's her lover. So that's when she can be weak. But every other time, she has to be strong. She has to be strong for her mom. She has to be strong for her sister. Um, and it was nice to have a strong FMC in this book. Like, and the only weak moment she had was when she could be with her lover. Like, that was nice. It wasn't, oh, I have to go save her. I have to go do this. It wasn't anything like that. It was, I'm going out to save my sister, and this is how I'm going to do it. She had a concise plan. She tried to follow through. It ended up getting screwed up because the bonding trial started. But I really liked her as an FMC. She wasn't boring. She was different, weak, not weak. It was good change up.
Yeah. I liked that they didn't portray her as weak. Like I said at the beginning, she was strong, strong-willed, did what was best for her family. Um so I thought that was really nice. It was kind of like a breath of fresh air because it wasn't a damsel in distress situation.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what a lot of it is. You have that damsel in distress, and then the MMC comes in and swoop, he saves everything and makes everything better, and whatnot. And that's not the case for Marin. Even with her bond with Anessa, she might be stubborn through it, but there's a reason why. But if I was put in her shoes, like I would feel the same way. I don't want this bond. I don't want this bond. I want to get to the front of the lines to save my sister. And you're holding me back. So, she had a lot of uncertainty there hanging over her head. But she was a good, strong main character.
Yes, and like the fact that she's the one that um was doing this journey to save her sister. So for the audience, the book is we follow Marin, who is in the not so good part of their town, and hi Ree, thank you. And there are these nabbers. Now they are nabbing the children that are between around 11 years old. And um and so after the fight of the how the book opens up, Marin finds out that another 11-year-old's been taken. So her first thought is her sister Sayla, and she rushes home. And she finds out it wasn't her sister Sayla, so we were like happy about that. But then probably a couple of days down the line in the book, she comes home and um she comes home from a little dalliance with Lee. And she was at his place and she finds her sister gone. They start searching for her, they can't find her. They obviously know it's the Nabbers because Sayla is 11 years old. She's the prime age and of the Nabbers to get her. And the Nabbers take them across the lines to the siphons, and these children never come back. So Marin's whole part of this book is to get to her sister, to save her sister. And she's doing all of this for Sailor. So Sailor, they added an A. I want to add it on. But the problem is once she signs up for the front, Lee tells her it's bonding trial time. They have it every couple of years, and the time has come for the bonded trials. Now, she knows, so everyone knows that the bonded trials don't go to the front, and she needs to cross over the front lines to get her sister back. And she's like, I can't do the bond. She's determined not to do the bonded trials. Like, goes to the camp, starts talking to other people, realizes there's a longer, safer journey up the mountain where it's the first 100 people to climb the mountain to get a dire wolf. So she's determined to be like 101 person. So the bond doesn't happen. Well, then they tell her, no, you have to go up the mountain. Everyone has to try and go up the mountain. And this opens up to climbing up the mountain. She develops a friendship with the twins, who are Isabella and Venna. Is that how we say it?
Vina.
Okay. And
let me go to my glossary here in the back of the book.
Yes, you have the back of the book. I'd have to flip through my phone. And this is the first time she's had like girlfriends. And she's very not trusting of people because that's how she's had to be. And they go up the mountain, and
it's Venna.
It is Venna.
Venna.
And just her being willing to save her sister is how this whole book comes about, and it's trials and how to deal with direwolves and how to deal with rivals and secrets. Lots of secrets in this book. I just lost my train of thought. I was explaining the book to them.
But throughout all of this, her mother also has a mental health illness where she kind of like has visions and talks to herself and things like that. And so Marin has to save her sister, but also make sure that her mother's taken care of through all of that.
Yes.
So I mean that goes into her growth throughout the story, like the character growth that we have throughout the story.
And her mom's visions are actually a secret that we get to uncover later on in the book. So it all gets rolled back to this secret plot. So, that's thoughts on Marin. And I guess the next person we probably should talk about is Lee / spoiler alert, Killian, the Prince of the Kingdom.
The freaking Crown Prince.
Yeah, the Crown Prince. And, like, she's not even aware. Like, that's the whole thing is I'm just like, how did this...
She's dating Lee, this guy who takes care of her every single twist and turn of the book. He's there to take care of her with his bandages and his special Healy stuff, and she thinks that he's just a messenger for the palace.
Careful, buddy. Yes, because he tells her when they first get together, he was a messenger. Why would she not believe him? She's never gone to the castle. She's never even been able to see the Crown Prince because he doesn't come out often to play or be seen. And then the way she finds out about how Lee is Prince Killian is their presentation. Yes, their presentation. So after they are bonded, they go to the academy, and then they get to do a couple of nights of just chillaxing after climbing this big mountain. Like, this mountain was up past the clouds, apparently. It was a huge mountain. And all of a sudden the king comes out to congratulate the bonded pair, or the bonded trials, and everybody, and they all are dressed fancy and whatnot. And all of a sudden you hear a gasp across the audience, because behind the king comes the crown prince. And Marin looks up and she gasps and she goes into shock, because Lee and Killian, the crown prince, one and the same.
Looks up and she specifically says, and there are those blue eyes I could tell out of anybody in the crowd staring at me.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. It's her beloved Lee.
Yeah, that was a plot twist I did not see coming, actually.
And I didn't see it either. Like, there was no way. I really thought that he was going to be a castle messenger and he was going to somehow sneak into the castle while she was there doing the bonded trials, and it would be this whole other story or whatnot. I really did not expect there to be another MMC, Mr. Stark, and I did not expect Killian to be Killian.
Right. So if you guys look at the bottom right, that is Stark. That is not Killian. So when we say a slow burn between Stark and Marin, we mean slow burn. It's not till 4 chapters before the end of the book that we realize what his position is, I guess, with her.
Yeah, but let's talk about, so when they kill people in this book, they get tattoos.
Yes.
And when they get tattoos, whoever tattoos them licks the fresh tattoo because it helps with the healing process and to make them closer. And so Stark does all but one of Marin's tattoos. And let me tell you, when she talks about this man licking her neck,
yeah,
it's not gross. It doesn't make it gross.
When he does it. When she had to get
when Edith did it, I think
Edith did it. Yeah. When Edith did it, she was just like, ugh.
Yeah, it's craziness. But
so to explain why they do the licking, as a bonded pair between Direwolf and their person, the Direwolves can heal their person if they willingly want to. They can just be like, I'm not gonna heal you. In terms of, like, Anessa did that with Marin, because Marin was being a turd to her, basically. She's like, I'm not gonna heal you. Why should I? That's a trusting moment for me. And when they lick the tattoo, they get some of the healing from the dire wolves that the person's bonded with. Also, the wolves can have mates. So we get to figure out that people are one of the lies that the king spread around. Was it the king that spread it around, or somehow got spread around? That if you're a bonded pair, if you have sex with another bonded person, you could potentially find a direwolf's mate. It wasn't true.
They party hardy.
Yes, they do. I mean, after the presentation, when how many people got killed, they went back, they cleaned up, they went back to their dorms, they cleaned up and had a giant party. That happened multiple times throughout the book, when it was just like, well, we're celebrating that we survived. Okay, that makes sense, but why all the drinking and sexing and all this stuff? That was a lot for me. I didn't like that they partied so much. Like, it kind of gave me the ick, because it didn't feel like it fit the book.
I can see that, but I've also read books where they've done kind of sort of the same thing, so it's not a surprise.
Oh. Okay.
I also skip over things like that because I don't care.
Yes.
Very good
That
about skipping over the things because I don't want to read it.
that makes sense. That makes sense. So we how did you feel about Lee? Killian, Lee.
He kind of gave me the ick.
Okay, so
he
it
was
wasn't just me.
no, it was he kind of like he didn't give me the ick whenever he was at the fighting rink healing her wounds or whatnot. But it wasn't until she found out that he was the prince and then he was trying to like he stayed back and gave her space so that way she could figure out if her feelings for him were true or whatnot. Um and kept saying, let everybody know that you're mine. Let everybody know that you're mine. But she didn't want him to do that because she didn't want any special treatment. And she already felt left out because she was an outsider and not a bonded child to begin with.
Right.
And so it kind of bothered me. I did know that Stark knew she was in a relationship with him only because he kept calling her princess. So Stark has a nickname for Marin and he calls her princess throughout the book. And especially whenever she first meets Prince Killian, and she
Mhm.
realizes who he is. And so that just he just kind of gave me the ick after that.
Yeah, see, I felt the same thing. Like him as Lee was great. Like he was super sweet. He was like, even though he didn't like to see her fight, he knew why she had to do it and still supported her, healed her, gave her the like the aftercare treatment of a fight, like after fighting. But I agree. Like once he became Killian, Killian is just an ick name to begin with. So I'm sorry to anyone that might name their child Killian, but it is every time you hear like the word Killian, it always seems to be like this ick person, especially in books. And just after he became Killian, to me, it seemed like he always had the ulterior motive to keep her under his like thumb almost. That's what it felt like. He was keeping her close and under his thumb. I mean,
Yes.
he kept
Now,
his identity a secret. Like how are we supposed to react to him being anything but ick?
yeah, I think something else that did it for me is that there are spicy scenes, and the spicy scenes are between Marin and Killian in the book because obviously they're a couple. But he never asks her like what she wants. There's one point in the book where she asks him to do something and
Oh,
he's like no. Like he completely gaslights her and still takes control. And so that part kind of did me in. I was done with him at that time.
yeah, like I kind of glazed over the scenes because I'm just gonna say it. I didn't care about them. Like I want to continue like her going to war or something. I didn't really care that this was like I was okay with it being a slow burn. I didn't really care about the smut scenes as our audience and husbands like to call them. Um I just glazed over them because I
Yes.
was just like, ugh. I didn't want
Yeah.
them.
So so if you look at all the spicy scenes, anybody else that's read it or is gonna read it, Killian is very much the dom in the relationship between him and Marin, and so he does everything. He, ties her up, makes her submit to him and things like that. And there's one part where whenever she gets to the castle and she is like she feels so good about herself, like she is ready to be with him and all this other stuff, and
What?
she tells him that she wants to take over and she wants to be in control, and he gaslights her and he takes control,
Yeah.
and it completely ignores her wishes. And so um that's that's a big thing.
Right.
It just gross. No thank you.
So now you want to
Right.
talk about our favorite MMC?
He's not even an MMC.
I know. He's a sidekick in this one.
Obviously, it's Kratos. Stark's Wolf.
Yes. Oh my god. I was kind of hoping there'd be a POV of like Kratos and Stark talking.
That would be really cool. There are in book 2. There are plenty of moments like that in book 2. But Stark is definitely an MMC. You have Killian, you have Stark. And I mean, I like Stark. I like his broodiness. He is the shadow daddy of the book.
Have a shirt on.
And he has all the slow burn, but he's not a love interest.
Yes. That's
Like,
why it's hard to
not-
describe.
Yes,
Like-
he is not a love interest. So, it's weird.
It is, because I feel like in the second book he must become the love interest, right?
Mommy, do we need to go upstairs?
I don't know.
I
I'm not
would
going to
go
tell you
upstairs.
anything because you haven't read it yet.
Give me the
and-
dates!
Listen, I am all for spoiling a book for people, but
it's okay.
not on the podcast. Sorry. It just came
Yeah.
out in May, so let's let people read it first.
It's okay. I liked that he was so broody, because you always see opposites attract style. Hi. Welcome
Hey boy,
home.
hey.
She said, "Hey boy, hey."
He wants a kiss. Give him a kiss.
He just got
God.
home. But
Just 5 minutes of fame, Cat. Let him have it.
What did he say?
5 minutes of fame, let him have it. But they definitely, like, Stark and Marin are not like opposites attract. They seem to have the same personality, and it's funny because they get played off it. So she's like, "Why do you hate me?" And he's just like, "Well, because you're gonna die."
Yeah, I hate you. I'm gonna kill you. Sort of mentality. Like that's just it. He never once says he likes her. At all.
Well, stop it. Right?
But I mean, I don't know. His mom, so a little history behind Stark is his mom is what they call the
Sovian alpha.
she's the like
What?
alpha. Like she can hear every direwolf, every bonded pair that there is. And so she is kind of the right hand of the king. And so Stark has to step into that role whenever the time comes for him. When his mom dies, he has to step into that role. So he's always been brought up under this mentality. He is an alpha. He's the alpha of the Deimos. Demos, however it was we found out we said it, a pack.
Deimos.
Yeah, and so he is this warrior who has killed so many siphons, goes to the front lines, has done so much. His wolf is one of the biggest. Black Kratos. He likes to eat people, and he does not care. Yeah, very much so. And so like he gets held back with the bonding trials. He gets pulled from the front, gets held back, and he has to basically babysit Marin and all the other trainees as they're going through raw bonds, as they call them.
Yes.
So,
which just doesn't sound good. Like the first time I read it, I was just like, I know like there's got to be a joke in here about like raw meat or something because they're still new, but like raw bonds, they couldn't be like bondlings or something like that. It was raw bonds.
Yeah.
Not pleasant.
It was not. Well, okay. We could talk about our favorite MMC, but did you have a favorite side character?
Can I say the Direwolves because they were funny? Actually, I would have to say I was kind of partial to Isabella, and oh my goodness, what was it Thomas?
Oh yeah, Thomason
and Isabella's like little slow burn-esque of, she's like, I hate you, and I'm just like, do you really? They were just so funny. Like Isabella was really good about drawing Marin into the group and just being like, well, now we're friends. That's it. We climbed up the mountain together. Now we're friends. What are you doing?
Yeah, I really like the twins. Venus Venna is my favorite, only because you have the book brought in a character, so they're twins. Isabel is like super flaunty and outspoken, and then you have Venna, who actually is hard of hearing, so there's a lot of sign language in the book, because that's how Venna can understand you. She could read lips a little bit, but it's better if you sign while you're speaking. And so it was nice to see that there was a character with, kind of,
Was able to make these bonded
yeah,
trials.
like not disabled, but was in her own way, but she's so strong. She's one of the strongest ones in the book, and the bond that she has with her sister is amazing. She ends up being in a different pack than her sister, but still is constantly by her side. And she's trustworthy, and Isabel and Venna, Marin comes from a poor family, so they have these fancy gowns and that they, dress Marin up in to make her seem like one of them and help her, basically survive, and she helps them survive. So I like it. I like that kind of like friendship circle they have going on there.
Yes, like one of my favorite scenes was when they hid in the pantry to bake the cake, and the camaraderie between Thomason, Vanna, Isabel, Marin, and the fifth person that they were able to draw out um once they save her in one of the bonded trials.
Neva,
Yeah,
Neva,
Neva,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're better. You must be looking at the names
I
because
am.
I'm
In
over
fact,
here like
right here, Neva.
Stop. And just like the character dynamics and relationships were just so relatable. Like if you have a close knit friend, you always have the the FMC, and then like the MMC wasn't even part of this. He's like their teacher almost. But I liked the friendships. And stop. Why do you gotta be like that? I'm not like that.
Just ignore it.
No.
I want to know you.
Ooh. Now that we've talked about side characters, we should definitely talk about trust, loyalty, and betrayal, because there's a lot of you can't trust anybody because no one's loyal and everybody's going to betray you.
Right. We should. And I'm gonna let you do that one. You can.
Why?
What?
Why?
Okay.
Why? Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Let me think. You put me on the spot. Now I'm like, so no. So you learn to trust a lot of people, but you really find out that they suck and you can't trust them. In the bonded trials, the wolves will pick out who's the weakest. So you can trust someone, and then during your bonding trial, they're going to be like, nah, you're weak. We're going to eat you. So that's kind of what happens with Neva. They're in a bonding trial, and the pack has decided that she's one of the weakest because she doesn't hang out with everyone. She lost her lover during the trials, and so she's just kind of off on her own and doesn't trust anybody. So she is surrounded, and Marin and the twins come in to help keep her alive, and so they become besties for the resties. But also like the trust and betrayal with the king and with Killian and the siphons themselves. Um, Honestly, it's a big pedestal. So, I don't know. It's a big thing in all the books so far, the trust and the loyalty and the betrayal. You don't know who to trust You don't know
Right.
if you can be loyal to the king, and you don't know who's going to betray you. So, yeah.
Should we just do the spoilers?
Might as well.
Okay. All right.
It's hard not to talk about Betrayal because I'm trying not to spoil it.
I know, but let's see. I think it's a good time to do that because we are talking about the betrayal. So,
I lost my slides.
yeah, I skipped to the next one because I was like, this is going to go straight into like the romance, tension, betrayal,
Yes.
all that. So the next topic is going to be the romance, the tension, and the betrayal.
So we're allowed to spoil things now.
We are in the spoiling zone.
Bless you, Kat. Bless you. If you guys don't know, Kat does this when she hosts. We're not allowed to spoil things until a certain time, and it kills me.
It keeps it.
It's the slow burn of the spoilers, like the slow burn of the romance in the book. Like once you get there, it's like a breath of fresh air.
It was slow.
It really does.
So we already did the one spoiler that Lee and Killian, her lover, is actually the crown prince. Who we hate, and if you say you like him, then fighting words.
He's the Tamlin of Direbound. I can say that because Kat's almost done the first Akatar book.
Yes. I got
She
about
knows not
100
to like
pages.
him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the first betrayal. The second betrayal is actually in a bonded trial when we're gonna talk about Jonah again, who is the rival, has made a lover of crap. What was her name? Lunar, what's her name? I'm tagging you in.
I can't remember what her name is.
Well, anywho, so she goes after Marin, whatever. I'm gonna say it twice.
Because after you say it in your head for so long one way, it's hard to make it pronounced the right way. Yes, I have that.
So this female likes to go after Marin because she's like, you're weak, you don't belong here. She's the bully. So she's like, you killed someone, and on the grounds in the castle that you weren't supposed to, even though it was self-defense. That is a rule. You are not allowed to kill any of the bonded outside of bonding trials, even if it's self-defense. So Marin gets jumped while she's walking back to her room, and in self-defense mode, because she is a fighter, she ends up killing this person, and this is where she gets her first tattoo. And the tattoos are to symbolize that you did not. It's a way. They have two different types of tattoos. The tattoos around their neck are for their comrades that they kill. The second tattoo, I believe, is
the ones on their neck are the ones that are the that they have to remember who they killed. It's a reminder of the person they took. Now you can have a tattoo anywhere else on your body that counts as a kill mark from someone that you killed because they deserved it.
There we go. I knew I was going to get it mixed up.
Got you.
So, because Marin kills this person, her bully's like, my direwolf and I are going to kill you. You better watch your back. Like, she has formed a pact with Jonah, who is part of the Deimos. And I suppose this is a good time to tell you that there are 4 different groups to each bonded section. So there's the Strategos, which is Marin, Isabel. They are the strategists. They're the ones that will look at a fight and figure out how to win. how to keep everyone safe, how to get through this battle. Then you have Deimos, who Stark is the alpha of. They are the warriors. All bronze, like Jonah, not a lot of brains. He's all brawn, all talk, not a lot of brains. Then you have Vena is part of Cryptos, which are the protectors. Did I say that? Did I get that one right? They're the protectors?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're the ones that
Phylax, Cryptos. Cryptos are the ones that I remember it because that's what Vena is. They creep. They're like
they're spies.
The spies.
The spies. That's right. And then the fourth one, which we don't.
The Phylax.
Phylax are protectors. They protect the warriors. They're the ones that are like guardians for this. So each group of bonds make up a whole battlefield.
And side note, her name is Periel.
Ugh. That's why I couldn't remember it.
Perielle.
I'm just gonna call her P.
She dies on page 302.
She dies because she's actually the weakest link. So this is what I was trying to explain. She thinks she's tough. She thinks she's the alpha. Turns out that in this one bonded trial, they need to figure out who the weakest person is. They start going after Marin because people just don't like her. And it's already come out like she seems off-putted. She's not bonding very well with her classmates, anything like this. So they think she's the weakest. Well, all of a sudden, she just comes out, and her and Nessa get together, even though they're still pushing and pulling on this bond that they have, and are like, no, she's the one that needs to die. The whole pack in this trial bond, every direwolf just zooms in on P. I'm not even going to pronounce her name. I'm calling her P.
I'll blame you.
And they just tear her apart. They grab, the way it's described is one direwolf grabs one arm. Another direwolf grabs another. One each grabs her leg, and they all pull in different directions. And they just quarter her. Like, they realized she was the weakest. And this was a strategic way to show that Strategos is actually pretty good at strategizing a battle, because it was just them formulating this plan. That would be the second betrayal, is the fact that someone that people thought was popular and gonna be top alpha of Strategos ends up actually dying. Her putting herself on a high pedestal made her actually the weakest link.
Yep. Because in reality, she was making the whole pack weak because she was only wanting to kill one person.
Right. She just wasn't doing, like, these packs are all connected. So we talked about the Sovereign Alpha. She can hear all the packs. But in Strategos, you have an alpha and they can communicate with the whole team. Stark, as the Deimos alpha, can connect with everyone in Deimos. And that is how they win these battles and form these plans, is because they can telepathically speak across the pack.
Yeah.
But they can't cross. So, like, Deimos can't talk
only
to...
only the Sovereign Alpha can talk to everybody.
Yes. That was the second betrayal.
Yeah, and the Direwolves can all talk to each other.
Yes, they can all talk, especially if they mate, because we figure out that Anessa has a mate, and she does not tell Marin until the second to last chapter of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And that's going to be a little later betrayal. The third betrayal, ooh, What would be that one? I guess the third betrayal is like Killian doing what he's doing behind Marin's back and lying to her face. Because all throughout that book, what we see until the end is all like, I'm going to take care of you. You're mine. I love you. We're going to do this together. And
Yeah.
all through this, we're also trying to figure out where her sister is kept. Like, that's the main storyline right there, is to get her sister. But Killian over here is just saying things like, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of your mom. I'll take care of your house. Make sure she's taken care of. He kills her mom. Did not
Very
see
much
that
so.
one coming.
And then the king himself is betraying
Hello.
everyone because he's the one that has the kids held prisoner.
Because he's a siphon. Remember how we
Right.
talked about siphons, vampires.
Right under the castle. So the kids aren't even being taken across the front lines of the battle. They are actually right underneath of their feet the whole time.
Yes. And yeah, that's a betrayal I never saw coming. Like, I didn't see Killian betraying her the way he did. The king was fishy from the beginning. Like, he was very fishy. I did not like that by any means.
Yeah, the king is very much not very kingly. He likes to watch everyone fight. He has what's called a dire blade, so it's a sword that all of the dire wolves respond to. So at one point, he says that not enough people have been killed, so he takes the dire blade and forces it into the arena, and all of the dire wolves go blood hungry. Like, they're bloodthirsty. They are going and killing each other and riders, and it doesn't matter who you are.
Correct. It didn't matter if you're bonded, if you're an outcast. They probably would have gone to the audience and killed the audience if they'd wanted to, if he hadn't controlled them. And the dire blade is a very important relic in this book. The power that the king can do with these direwolves. Now, these direwolves are just, they're beasts. Like, they're these big beasts that you're just like, how can someone control them with the dire blade? And we find out in the book that the king isn't even the rightful heir to the dire blade. We find out he is the siphon that kills off the dire blade's rightful bloodline, I guess you would say. That's how you would say it.
The rightful royal bloodline.
Correct. And that just blew my mind. Like, all the twists and turns in this book were like, I thought there was a prophecy. There wasn't really a prophecy per se. Except for that Marin is from the royal bloodline. That the siphons were trying to kill off because they wanted the power to control the direwolves and to do what basically the siphons want, to have all the power. They want to do whatever they want, and the way they get power is by feeding off the 11-year-olds. That's how they get the most beneficial amount of power.
Because it said that the younger at that age, their blood is stronger.
Yeah, that's off-putting. That was a little rough to hear. Because, like, I don't know, just the whole, anything to do with children is kind of hard to hear. And, like, I can understand it because, like, it's always said that vampires feed off children because the innocence of their blood's sweeter or the whatever. That's something that, like, lore of vampires has always followed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that this is in the book, but still, just in terms of going about it and reading it is kind of off-putting.
Yeah. So let's talk about one of the biggest betrayals in the book
Go for it. I've taken up
we
the
haven't-
last 3.
that we haven't talked about. It took me a minute to remember. Listen, I have read book 2 in my mind. I'm trying to remember what happens in book 1 and not in book 2. So I had to check my book. I had to check my book to make sure that this was book 1. So one of the biggest betrayals is from the beginning of this book. Marin's purpose is to save her sister Selah. That is what she's done. The Nabbers have taken her. She is apparently across in the kingdom of Asteronia, or however it is. I always butcher it. And so she becomes bonded. She absolutely does not want to be bonded. She wants to go to the front line. She does everything she possibly can to try to break the bond that she has with Anassa, which pisses Anassa off because she's like, you're supposed to be with me. Like, I picked you for a reason. I've been waiting for you. Like, we find that out. But then Marin finds Selah underneath in the dungeons in the castle or whatever, thanks to the help of Venna and her ninja-like skills. And they are able to break her out of the cell and save her. And Killian leaves Marin with, "I've left you with a gift." And Selah turns into a siphon.
Yes. And the reason that happens is we find out after so Killian and Marin decide to plot against the king because she assumes it's the king that's doing all this stuff. She knows, like, she's like, well, it wouldn't be Killian because he's my lover and he loves me, who's taking the kids and doing this. So we find out that the original siphon that killed Marin's, like, great-great-grandmother, who was the queen and the queen of, like, not, I don't want to say of the Direwolves, but the Direwolves in her bloodline ruled hand in hand, basically.
Yeah. She's like, it's the Sturmfrost royal line.
Yes, there we go. We figure out that Marin figures out that Killian is actually a siphon. So they have this tradition where Killian's now dead. Who Killian was is no longer. He is now the Lord Siphon that ended up in Killian's body.
Name Alistair? Is it Alistair?
I don't think so. That sounds like a very Twilight type of name.
Does it not? Right? Like, oh, I'm pretty sure it starts with an N. I could be completely wrong. One moment. It's not in here.
It's not.
No, it's not in this one, but it's in this one.
All right. Ooh, show them that pretty book too.
Isn't it pretty? It's blue. It's got pretty pictures inside, like all of them do, in the back and in the front. Look how pretty. I don't know if you can see that or not. Look how pretty.
But so she realizes Killian is the bad guy. And they'd been plotting to kill his dad so that Killian could take the crown and make this place so much better. This was a lie. A huge lie. He made a gorgeous bracelet. So in this book, marriage
It is Alistair. Alistair. Alistair Brightbane.
Ew. I'm not liking her names.
That's his name. You should know he also has a brother named Lucian.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
They're definitely like Interview with a Vampire type names.
They are. So in this book, when you get married, you don't get a ring, you get a gorgeous bracelet. So at like a ball, Stark was like, dance with me, to Marin, and she's like, no, I belong to the crown prince, and shows her bracelet. The thing with the bracelet is, as it's gorgeous, it's sucking out her royal power. Because at this point, Killian is not who we know as Killian. He is now Alistair, who got transferred into Killian's body.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Here we go. Here's the biggest spoiler. So, we go forward to she goes ahead, kills the king, and Killian's like, why did you do that? How could you do that? And we rotate back to, you must have the visions. You must be sick like your mother. How could you kill the king? What did you do? Now, obviously that means that the king is dead. Killian becomes the king, gets the dire blade. We don't want him to have the dire blade. It's too much power for him. It's not his royal bloodline. He throws Marin into the dungeon because what else is he supposed to do? She killed his father in front of a ton of people.
And says she's crazy.
But he still loves her. He's going to find a way to fix her. Can anyone say giant red flag right there? And so she has been getting visions. So she honestly thinks that she's like her mother. Because like we said, her mom had visions, was going crazy. I would say that her mom, even though these visions were real because it was the royal bloodline trying to make them remember what their purpose was, it made it seem like her mom had schizophrenia almost. So Marin thought she was having the same, and she's like, no, I can't be having these. She's panicking because she's like, I need to save Selah. And Killian plays off of this. As soon as she kills his dad, he locks her in, and he plays off of this, like, you're sick like your mother. And she's like, no, I'm not. Well, now
Don't worry, I'll save you. We'll find a cure so that way you won't have to worry about it because I love you and I want to be with you for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, that was good. I love that. That's perfect. And so she's like, there's no way. There's no way. Now, at least he didn't, like, Anessa's with her in the dungeon. And this is a huge growth for both Anessa and Marin because they've been having this battle of wills where Anessa's like, you need to let me in completely, even with your personal stuff. Like, when we say personal, we mean that they should not have a wall up during those schmexy times. And Marin's like, I need a little bit of privacy. I'm going to do a little wall. Just a little wall.
Because the wolves want to know about all of the spicy mayo and not just the bland mayo.
And so it turns into, tell me who your mate is. Is he still alive? And Anessa's like, of course he's still alive. Why wouldn't he be alive? Aw, you two are going to make me blush. And it goes to call him. Call him so that I can talk to his rider. Dun, dun, dun. It's Kratos and Stark.
The best duo in the whole book.
Yes. Like,
we just didn't know it.
We didn't. And now, all of a sudden, now that she knows that she goes, I'm the queen, aren't I? Because she's like, I need you to go into the arena and find me that sparkly crown. And Nessa's like, is that an order? And
yes.
Marin's like, yes, it's an order. And, so Stark goes and retrieves the crown. She puts it on her head, and boom, she witnesses everything. The first battle to realizing that her like great grandmother died, but she hid her child away because she was literally on the throne breastfeeding her child. Her child was a baby. Tells her advisor, you need to go hide them away. And this bloodline gets to continue because Marin
Can't find that sticker, Myth. It's not fair. It's not in the stickers. He can't hear me, but I can't find it.
I think he doesn't have his IMs in. He couldn't hear you at that point. I thought
Like,
he saw his speakers.
I was trying to find it, but I can't find it on the emotes. So sad. Anyways, continue. Sorry, squirrel.
There you go.
Or should I say Myth?
There you go. I got it up. But like going back, like she gets the crown on her head, and that's when she realizes the whole truth. Like Stark is her protector. Like the Sovereign Alpha is supposed to protect. Like his bloodline is supposed to protect the rightful person of the Dire Blade, which in this case is Marin.
Yep, the Sturmfrost royal bloodline. He is in charge of protecting. And his mom's known all along.
Yes. And like
Spoiler,
they
his
were
mom's known
literally
all along.
cursed by the king that they could not say anything. So when she's like, well, why were you trying to kill me? He's like, I wasn't trying to kill you. I was trying to protect you. And he's like, I'm the one that got you that room to yourself. I'm the one that got you, all
your
the
beautiful
stuff.
Dress.
Yes,
and I can't believe that bloodsucker took all the credit for it.
Yes! Like slimy seasball Killian over here.
Like, this whole time I thought you wanted to kill me. No, I was protecting you. I was annoyed because I had to protect you because you didn't know who you were. And you kept putting yourself in harm's way.
Yes. And just hold on, my IEM broke. I gotta go one IEM now. And just doing that. So we're back in the dungeon. And she gets out of the dungeon, she goes up to Killian's room. She starts playing the You're Right. This is when she starts playing that victim. Remember back in the beginning when we said she likes to play victim against her opponents to get them in her grasp before she strikes. She goes up to his chamber, Killian's chamber, and is like, you're right, I need you to fix me. I'm so sick. I don't know why I did it. Gets in his grasp. And all of a sudden, she shows her true colors of, I'm the queen. That's my dire blade. But she can't use her full power. And that's when he tells her, oh, because he's been siphoning it off, hence a siphon. That bracelet is an enchanted bracelet. There's no way she can get it off. It won't come off by fire, by pulling, nothing.
It gets tighter on her arm as she tries to get it off, and that's because Killian is a bad villain.
Yes.
Killian's bloodline is the host for Alistair, the big bad. So Alistair has a contract with all of his blood relatives. So he takes over their bodies. So when King Serial died, Alistair went from his body into Killian's body. So Killian is now possessed with Alistair, but Killian still lives inside with him. But they're both cray-cray, so.
Yeah. But then his parting words were, I left you a little gift. So she goes and she's curious about what that gift is. She goes to her private room and there's her sister. I see a little pause.
He's attacking me.
And there's her sister sitting on her chair. And she's like, Sila. And Sila's like, Marin. And it's just a sweet, sweet moment. For now.
She convulses and her eyes turn big and she lunges and goes, Arr!
Because Killian turned her into a siphon. And guess what, guys? That ends the book.
Stupid cliffhangers.
That's such a terrible cliffhanger. Like, terrible.
Stupid cliffhangers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're on my desk. What do you expect? My arm is there. Don't give me the side eye. Let me go.
I didn't like the cliffhanger. I didn't think that was going to be the gift. Like,
Me either. I didn't expect that. I expected it to be like, I expected it to be somebody's head, in all honesty.
you know what? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I knew it wouldn't be in Nessa's head, but like, maybe it would have been like Kratos' head to kind of hurt Anessa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we said, the wolves, the dire wolves, when you have a bond with them, if they die, you die. And if you die, they die. So if Kratos was to die, Stark would die. If Stark was to die, Kratos would die.
Yeah. It's so sad. And it makes me want to know how like one of my predictions in the next book is there a way to change Scylla back? Or like how are you gonna live with the fact that your sister's a siphon? Like you've spent all this time trying to save her. And now she's a siphon.
Your husband is a mess tonight.
He is being such a menace right now. So it's only fair that we should do something like this during their gaming podcast.
My husband will kill me, Kat. I'm not sure if you've met him or not, but he will murder me or get very, very angry. And the world doesn't need to know how angry he can get. It's not the time of the year for us to fight.
Oh.
But you should have the boys do something. You should plan something with the boys and make them do it.
I could. That wouldn't be that hard. Or I could, like the last podcast that they had, have the girls fight. That was kind of fun. Not really. That's why they get locked up now during podcasts and read. Because you never know.
So, what are some of your biggest unanswered questions from book 1? All my questions have been answered. I have unanswered questions from book 2.
You know what? So, I already talked about one, like, can she reverse the siphon of Scylla? Is there, like, a magical fountain, because, it's fantasy, or like, a way that Scylla could be reversed back, or like can she still be a bonded person because she showed so much interest in Anessa, although the way she was baby talking Anessa was kind of funny because all I could think of is Anessa just being like with her like snout in the air and like downward eyes, like she better stop talking to me like a baby or I'm gonna knock her out.
But remember, Marin's the Sturmfrost queen. She's Queen Sturmfrost now, so Sayla's actually princess.
That's true.
So they're both royalty now.
And I wonder how that's going to, like, what Marin's next journey besides navigating being a queen. And, like, she is also Alpha Strategos. Like, she's Strategos' Alpha. Does she still keep that role, or can she be both? Because it's going to be really hard for her to navigate battle as an alpha of a pack, as well as queen trying to navigate. Like she has to navigate Killian, how to get this charm bracelet off, how to be a queen. She went from the slums to a queen. Like, how she's going to navigate this. What is the plot of the second book? Like, she technically found her sister. That was the plot of the first book with all the betrayals. Like, what is going to happen in the second book?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what happens in the second book.
And does she and Stark, is it still slow burn?
Yeah, nothing happens until the chapter, like, 30-something. I'm just going to throw that out there. There is no smexy scenes until, like, chapter 30-something.
Are there at least, like, other battles and stuff to help us along the way so we're not just, like...
100%. The book is battles from beginning to end. Just different types of battles. I will say There's more royalty thrown in there. We need smut in chapter 1. Well, I'm sorry, you don't get smut in chapter 1. You get slow burn in chapter 1. There's definitely more tattoo licking. There's also a part where someone tattoos someone and they want to know if they can tattoo wherever so they can lick wherever. So there's
Oh.
that.
Do we get to see more of like the group, Marin, Thomason, the twins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. And in fact, like, it's not a spoiler if I say this part, but as a royal, you have a court. And so she does, in fact, ask her friends to be part of her royal court. That's not really a spoiler.
No, that
Um,
would make sense. Like that usually follows the line when someone becomes like queen or king or something of
yeah.
their friends.
Well,
but
yeah, because it's made known that most of Cyril's court that he has are actually like relatives.
oh,
Yeah, just people that he put in place just to have somebody there because he had all the power anyways, but also people to where Alistair could go from one to the other. So if Killian was killed,
that makes
there
sense.
there would
He
be
had the
somewhere else.
backup.
Yeah.
Yada yada. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say no one's safe in book 2. Not really a whole lot of people were safe in book 1, especially with the bonding trials. But no one's really safe in book 2.
so this could potentially be a Liam in Fourth Wing moment in book 2.
There's no such thing as another Liam from Fourth Wing.
Okay.
That scene will rip your heart out. Oh, maybe. Nah, I didn't cry.
Okay. I cried during Liam, so
I cried during Liam multiple times. Every time I've read it, I've cried during that scene. But yeah. They don't get their whatever tattooed. It's just speculated that this person wants to tattoo somewhere where they can just lick. But it's more like
he wasn't here for the
breast
licking
area. Ab breast area sort of thing.
Very nice.
So yeah, romance theories. Obviously, we have a mate and a mate, like we have mates together, so slow burn is gonna pull and still be a slow burn. But their biggest thing is it do they actually have feelings for each other, or is it the mate bond?
Yes, which we did see some of it during the dungeon scene where Kratos and Anessa were, being very
Off
romantic.
doing their thing.
Yes. And Stark and Marin was just like, girl, you need to put up that wall. Because, like, yes, Stark is pretty handsome and stuff, but she's just getting over Killian and realizing he's a dirtbag sleazeball over here. And she's like, I need you to stop with your bond to Kratos, Anessa, because I don't want to be feeling all this stuff, and I need to know if it's real. But I guess that's the good thing about them being able to put up a wall, is she could probably talk to Anessa and be like, I don't know if I want this forced thing with Stark. Can you put up that wall with Kratos, his direwolf, so that I can see if my feelings are true?
Yeah, I will say Anessa holds true to the I'm not going to tell you anything. You need to find out for yourself and be a big girl and ask people what things are throughout both books. Like, she does stay true to I want Marin to ask these questions herself, find out answers for herself, because it's important that she hears from the people she is asking about.
I will say that's one thing I didn't like about Marin is, like, how much she kind of got butthurt over the fact that, like, she couldn't see Anessa's point of view of why she was being treated like that.
Right.
And it was like, okay, now you're just kind of, those parts were kind of not off putting to me, but I was just like, put your big girl panties on. Talk to her. You're supposed to be a bonded pair. Communication's key. And you're over here, like, making her, demanding all of Anessa, and you're put forthing nothing. Like,
yeah,
how do you expect that to work?
Yeah, I think that's something that's one of my least favorite parts of it as well, is the brutality in a sense of Marin towards Anessa. Because obviously, hello, I'm not going to trust you if you're not going to put effort into this and you're constantly saying, I don't want to be bonded. Okay, well, I picked you.
There's a
I picked you,
reason.
dude.
Like,
Like, you talk to me, like, trust me, open yourself up to me, and stop being so stubborn, because the more stubborn you're going to be, guess what? I'm going to hit you 10 times more.
right, and like, how did she not realize how special she was gonna be when Anessa hasn't taken a rider in so long? And like, the other thing is most people have one strip of hair that's the color of their pack. So Deimos is red. Strategos is one strip of silver.
Not right now. It's way too late for that, am I right?
And Marin's whole head went silver. Like, hello here. Why would you not go into that bond? Like, I can understand that
She's
you
busy.
were
Go back
kind of,
upstairs.
Marin was kind of like, this was not part of my plan. Now you have a direwolf that you can communicate and will protect your life on the front lines to protect your sister. Like, give into that bond. It would have made,
Yeah.
and I know that's part of the plot of like her struggling to trust someone, and all of a sudden you have this giant beast that your whole like village of that slum area has misjudged these direwolves until you realized they're not going to come after you unless you attack them or their rider first. Like, they're pretty docile if they're not threatened.
Agreed. And I mean, their whole world has been a big lie as well that we learn at the end of the book. So, like, the Direwolves didn't make the trials. The king made the trials, and he was controlling them with the dire blade. So there's not much that they could do about it.
Right. This was like their way of staying like in the know almost. They had to. And the fact that this king did this was just another lie, like that twist and turn that had to be unwoven. And the whole, you really can't trust anyone but your direwolf is so true. I mean, now Marin has like her little group of friends, and she has Stark and Kratos. Mostly like Stark because his bloodline's always been there, the Stormfrost bloodline protector, but also Kratos is Anessa's mate. Like, he's going to protect her. That means he's going to protect her rider. Because if one of them dies, the other dies. Like, I'm glad that Marin, like, finally learned to trust a little bit. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know what you liked least, and I know what I like least, which is basically the same thing. Because honestly, it sucked. But overall rating, what do you give the book?
I gave it a 4.5 because, like I said, I didn't need those sexy scenes. Like, they kind of helped portray the ick of Killian, especially when she was like, "Can I do something?" He was like, "No." I'm like, I don't like that. But I could have honestly done without those. So to give it a 4.5 without like even the sexy scenes is really hard to do, because sometimes those scenes make or break the book. But I feel like it wasn't gonna do either. She could have taken, the authors could have taken those out, and I still would have given it like a 4.5. Just the dynamics of the direwolves and their riders, the trials, the secrecy, the twists and turns of the plot of you literally can't trust anybody. And the slow burn was just so good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the 4.5. Um, I really liked the change also with picking a book that it wasn't sport related, and it wasn't just like magic fairy sort of mentality like book. I like the fact that it was the Direwolves, and I like the whole bonding trials and the the politics and stuff behind it. Yes, it was very much fourth wing, very much so. And but it wasn't as like mystical powers. Each pack had their own power that they shared, but it wasn't like, oh, I have this sigil, I have this power sort of thing. Um,
Right, right.
it wasn't anybody could have magical powers. It was once you're bonded with your wolf, you have whatever specialty in a sense that pack does. So I did like that. It was a nice change and kind of like a good like palate cleanser in a sense, especially because it didn't have all the steamy scenes. Um, so it was definitely a different book from what we usually choose
It
for the
also
podcast.
wasn't trauma heavy. Like we've done
Yes.
the past couple of like group sessions have been super trauma heavy. And this one, yes, her mom had a what we thought was like schizophrenia actually turned out to be like her bloodline was causing these visions to get her to remember what their bloodline was, that they were the royal queens, because Maureen
Right.
started to get that. But there wasn't a lot of trauma to either the MMC, the FMC, any of it. It was
No.
just the right amount to make their characters be the way they were. Like, obviously, her having to survive and provide for her family once her dad passed and her sister got taken, things like that. But there wasn't like any abuse or anything like that. It was really
Yeah. Well,
nice.
there was a trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. There was self-harm um pointed out in the book when they go scout out that one area on the front, and she ends up in the hotel with Stark, and he sees the scars on her hips um and is like, who did that to you? And she's just like, shut up, leave me alone. But other than that, there's
No
no
scenes like
no
graphic.
there's
Yeah.
no heavy trauma. There's no like real like abuse in the book, other than things that might be like the king gets to pick somebody to be with during the trials and gets to
His
do whatever he wants
consort.
to, yeah,
Yeah,
with said person. So I mean, other than that, it's like it's a really good storyline.
it is without so much world building. Like that was the other thing that I liked is there wasn't a lot of world building. They basically stayed either in her town, like in their city, and it was basically where she lived, and then the castle. Like that was basically it. That except for when she went to the front line because she had been following a lead. So those are the only three places that we really visited or stayed at. There wasn't like in Fourth Wing where they went to Bazagath and then they went across the wall and bounced everywhere. They had to remember.
Hmm.
It was just the academy, castle, academy, her home basically, and it didn't even describe a lot of her home. It was just like the arena and her house. It wasn't really the village except to show that she was in the poor side of the village.
Yeah, like what the streets look like around her.
Yeah. So it was nice and refreshing to not have to remember what certain places were.
Yeah. So, well, we've given our thoughts and we've talked about the book. So, do you have anything for the community?
I I don't. I mean, I would recommend definitely like I said that was the only trigger warning, like you said that was the only trigger warning. So this is really good to if you like fantasy, this is a great book. Like we said it is similar to Fourth Wing, but there are differentials that it won't feel like you're reading Fourth Wing. It just has Fourth Wing-esque style. So I really would love to know what you guys thought of it if you've read it or if you're looking to read it. Um, and you can comment in our Discord book talk. It's book club. It's a
Yeah.
channel called Book Club. Or we upload this to YouTube as well, so you can drop the comments there.
Yeah, tell us your favorite character, your favorite wolf, Kratos. Obviously, it's going to be Kratos. Um, if you have a favorite scene, any theories you and Kat can talk about for book 2 that I won't spoil.
Yes. Yes, that would be nice. Yes, and I think that is going to be a wrap.
Yeah. What about next episode? We do know when
You
we're going to have our
ready?
next episode. Yes.
Oh, hold on. So we have already decided what our next episode is going to be. We're going to do it July 18th, right before me and Myth go on our little honeymoon vacation. I said honeymoon, wedding anniversary vacation. And we're going to do something completely different. There are no books involved. We're not even reading a book for the episode. Lunar came up with a fabulous idea for us to build our book cast.
Oh, yeah, so much more than that because I like to be an overachiever, guys. Honestly, I just had an idea and I went with it. So we're going to be playing a card game where each one of us, and hopefully Linz joins us for that one. So myself, Kat, and Linz, we will have 7 decks. We will each choose 1 card from each deck. It'll be heroine, hero, a world, magic, plot twist, villain, romance, and we are going to pick the ones we like out of each, kind of like Cards for Humanity in a sense. Oh, I got this heroine, I got an assassin, and I'm going to explain why my assassin would be the best FMC of our book. We will go through and we'll create our own little outline for a book, and it's going to be super fun. And I can't wait for everybody to see it. I'm going to share updates with Kat and Linz as I get things done, but it's going to be a cool, random little take. No one has to read a book. No one has to study anything. It is just us being romantasy, fantasy book readers getting to create our own.
Yes, and the cool thing is it's coming. We're doing this episode as our 10th episode, guys. This is episode 9. This is our 10th episode. So it's
Woot woot.
something special, and it's just going to be so much fun, and we can't wait to explore with you guys.
Yeah, so like Kat said, July 18th at 8 p.m. And if it's something that everybody likes, we can do it again. We can play it with the community if anybody else in the community wants to come and take a twist at it. Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Yes. And on that note, it is time for us to sign off. Bye.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find.